Welcome back to Patrick Draws. Today, we're going to draw Pac-Man. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to launch Rough Animator. And let's go ahead and start a new project. 1080p at 30 frames is fine. And pull back on my canvas. Let's go ahead and bring in an image. So we're going to import a drawing of Pac-Man, or it's a 3D model of Pac-Man. And I'm going to shrink this down a little bit so that we can see it. I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer on top of this. And I'm going to call this layer shapes. Let me grab my brush tool and let me grab red here. And let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. So obviously the first thing that I see when I look at this Pac-Man is a circle. So let's just go ahead and draw that in right here. And then I see another couple of circles here and here for these boxing gloves that he's got on. And then I see like a half circle here for the bottom of the mouth. And then another little arc here. So let's just go ahead and do that. And his eyes are basically a couple of ovals. So let's just sketch those in. The nose is basically, it's kind of like a cylinder. I'm going to draw a circle. And then I'll make it into a cylinder there. Let me just grab my eraser and clean that up so we can see a little bit. And then for the eyebrows, we've got a couple of triangles here. And then another little triangle in the back. And another one in the back there. This arm is basically a rectangle. So I'm just going to put in a little rectangle there. This is more of a curving rectangle. So if I wanted to, I could break it into two different rectangles here, and then we'll connect that curve later. For the thumb, let's just go ahead and put in an oval, and then an oval there, and then another little circle for the thumb. And now let's take a look at the legs. So when I look at this boot here, I see a rectangle shape right in here. And then for the toe, for the toe here, we've got ourselves a little half circle. And if this were to continue it around, you see there's our full circle. But all I really need to do right now is draw that. And then if you look at the remainder of the foot here, I could just draw a line, and that gets us pretty close there. But I also see almost like a teardrop. So let me draw that here. Something like that. That's what I just kind of drew it for the bottom of the foot. Now if I come up to the leg here, we've got an oval where it connects to the body. So let me just draw a little half of an oval. And then the leg's just going to connect a couple of lines to connect that. Now if I look at the back foot here, we've got a circle right here. So let me just draw a portion of that. And then I'll do another one in the back there because this is a cylinder. So let's just connect our two little half circles here. And then we've got another circle right in there. And then we're just going to draw a line. And that connects that. So then this foot here, if I look at it as a whole, it's basically like an oval like that. So let's go ahead and pull up our layers. And let me turn down the original drawing and let's see what we've got here. And it's starting to look a lot like Pac-Man to me. So let's go ahead and bring it back up. And I want to just check here. Okay, I forgot the tongue. I'm just looking for different things that I've missed out here. And I mean, this really looks to me like a bean. So I'm just going to do that. And then we forgot these lines here. There's a triangle there. And there's a triangle there. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now what I want to do is I want to draw my own shapes on this side. So let me pull the opacity down a little bit on the original image of Pac-Man. Now, I'm looking here, his foot's going to fall somewhere on this line here, and then the height of his hand is going to be somewhere up in here. So this gives me a little zone that I know I need to keep my drawing within. And then the body, which is his biggest part, or his head here, is taking up a majority of this space. And I can see that it comes right around about here and right around about here. So I know I need to make my circle somewhere in between these two lines. So it might take you a few tries, but let's just, I'm not too happy with that one. Just try and get a round of a circle as you can here. And like I say, it might take a few tries until you get something that you're happy with. So something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and just draw in my lines here for the eyes. So I kind of have an idea of where the eyes are going to fall. And then another one here for the nose. So even though it's a real basic face, I still like to draw my guidelines for the eyes in the center of the face where the nose and the mouth will fall. And that is going to help me with a few things here as I lay things down. So the first thing I know is that the nose comes right off of this line here and comes up something like that. And then the eyes, one eye comes right off the tip of this nose here as an oval. So let's just go ahead and do an oval there, over there. And then above the eyes, we've got some triangles. So let's just throw those in. And each triangle you'll see is on each side of this center line. So we want to make sure that we get that right. And then another little triangle on the back end here. And now let's go ahead and throw the mouth in. And if you look at this, where I've split the face down the center, the mouth here is really almost two triangles, although we're going to draw half of a circle here. And this triangle is shorter or smaller than this triangle. And it's because the mouth is closer to us on this side of the divider line. So the closer things are to you or the camera, the larger they become. So let me just sketch in real quick a couple of triangles so I kind of have an idea of where I want this mouth to go. And now I'm just going to round that out and using these triangle lines as a guide. Okay. And then right in the center there, more towards the right here, we've got our lima bean. So let me just throw that in there. Okay. Now, before I go too much into detail, what I want to do is I want to figure out where the arms and the legs come out of this guy's body. So we've got the first leg coming out below the tongue here, somewhere around in here. So I'm just going to make a little rectangle that shows me that leg. And then I've got my other rectangle here coming down. And this foot is not touching the ground, so I don't want this to hit my ground layer, but this foot is. So this foot is, we've got to remember, it needs to hit our line down here, and this foot's going to be up in the air like it is here. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a little ball there for the foot, give me kind of a guideline, and then I'm going to add in my little teardrop there like we have over here. Coming back to this side, I know that we need this cylinder is coming out like right about here. And then another little arc there is coming out, and that's his leg. Let me grab my eraser and just erase a little bit of this because that leg is being overlapped by the body. And then let's go ahead and draw this oval here for the foot, and I want to make sure that this foot is touching this line like it is on here. So something like that. And now let's go ahead and look at the arms right about here, throw a little rectangle. And then let's throw in that boxing glove with the circle here. And I want to make sure that that hits my height, my max height line that I've kind of given myself. And then right through the center here is about where that thumb is going to come out. So let's put that thumb right over that line there. And if we come over, look at this other arm. This arm is coming out right where this line, my eye divider line is hitting. So right about here, I want that arm rectangle to come popping out. And then I'll do another little rectangle here where the arm and the elbow are bending. And let's throw a little oval there for the glove and a big circle here. And a big circle there for the boxing glove. And then this thumb is kind of coming out right about the center line here. And it's overlapping this line. So let me do that one more time. Right about there. And now I can, without even connecting my elbow lines or anything, I can just look at this and see that we're getting pretty close proportionally to the original drawing or the original image of Pac-Man. So now at this point, let me go ahead and add in our little triangles here for the eyes. And let's take a look here. I might want to add a couple of lines like this, something like that for the glove. Maybe another little line right in there where the glove is curling over. And at this point, I'm pretty comfortable going into my final drawing. So let's go ahead and bring my layers up again. And I'm going to add another layer on top of where we just were. And let's call this cleanup. And this is where I'm going to be drawing my final drawing. Let me pull the shapes down, opacity down. And then I'm going to switch colors here to black. And I'm going to zoom in here. And I don't really need to reference Pac-Man too much anymore. So I think what I want to do is I want to take my brush size down a little bit. Maybe to 10. Let me try that. Just give me a little bit of a thinner line. A little easier to get the detail work in here. So I can start anywhere basically that I want to. I'm probably going to start on a lot of this head / body. And instead of drawing the full circle, which I could do, I'm just going to be drawing the parts that I need to. And then come back and clean things up. And that can connect there, something like that. Okay, let's go ahead and finish this glove. And you can see I'm really just tracing my guidelines here. And now, notice when I did this arm here, I'm giving it a bit of a curve. So I'm using that rectangle I put in as a guide, but I'm curving those lines that I'm adding in. And then I'll come up here and add some lines for his ears there. Let's go ahead and add the nose real quick here. So I'm just going to draw that. And then if I want, I can connect the full nose like that, or I might just do something like that and leave a little bit open there. And if I look at the eyes, let's go ahead and just draw the portions that need to be there, not the whole thing here. So again, using the red line as my guide, we're just going through and doing a cleanup drawing. And I'll do my lima bean. And if you don't like what you've drawn, you can always undo it or erase it. And let's come over here. So the arm is coming out something like that. Okay. And let's put the thumb in. Now you can see I'm getting it a little sloppy here, so I grab my eraser, come back, and I can clean it up a little bit. No big deal. Let's take a look at the leg here. I'm going to just do a few lines again, using my red lines as a guide. And, we're just doing our cleanup drawing. That's exactly what it's called here. And let's put that boot in there. And again, we want to make sure that this foot touches the ground here. He's got a little contact point right in here. And let's take a look here. I think at this stage, I'm kind of ready to color. I can go ahead and almost get ready to color this in. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit of my line work. Let's zoom out, and I'm going to pull that down a little bit here. just take a look at anything that I'm missing. I noticed that there's these black triangles on the eyebrows that I did not do. So let's go ahead and add those in here. Okay, I'm going to grab my eraser because that line doesn't connect. And now I'm ready to use my fill tool. But before I do that, I've taken a look right in here and I'm not happy with this. And the reason is the curl of the fingers on the glove here, this line is connecting to the arm line and it's giving us a tangent and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redraw this line and just move it just a little bit off. Something like that. And now that line and that line have a little bit of distance in between them. And just little things to look out for, no big deal. Alright, so let's go ahead and start filling some things in like the eyes here. And the mouth. And then I can grab a yellow. And let's fill in a majority of our character here. And let's grab a red for the tongue and the boots here. And I may want to leave a little darker red on that because that's the underneath of the shoe. And then we gotta let's look for like a golden, something like that for the gloves here. And I think I missed a spot on here. Okay. And I think we're getting pretty close here. So let's pull up the original drawing. Take a look at them side by side. And you know, if I wanted to, I could add a little shadow here or something like that. And that's pretty much it. So now at this point, let me take one last look and see if I missed anything. And it's looking pretty good to me. So I think we are good to go with our Pac-Man drawing. If you have a suggestion for what you want to see me draw next, just leave it in the comments below. This has been Patrick with Patrick Draws. Thanks for joining me and hope to see you next time.